Hello Ravencoin lovers, this is Raven Rebels with a quick update about how to create a simple integration with Ravencoin for newbies, for JavaScript developers that have no experience whatsoever. Ravencoin maybe just started with JavaScript, some CSS, some HTML. Let's get started. And we do it quickly, so you have to pause the video if you want to do that and see some stuff again. So first off, we create an empty directory and we call it Don. And in this we create an empty npm init, empty npm package. You need to have Node.js installed. If you don't know what Node.js is, maybe you shouldn't watch this video. Anyway, we have we open up our favorite code editor in this demo, in this project. In our case, our favorite editor is Visual Studio Code. So what we're going to do now? First, let's create a web page, and we are lazy, so we are using Pico CSS, the simplest, easiest CSS framework in the world. We copy the HTML file, we scroll up, and we copy their link to their content delivery network, so we don't have to install it locally. And then we say we want to use something called npm install parcel, and while that is installing, I can show you parcel. Parcel is a zero configuration build tool for the web. It really is a zero configuration web tool, tool for building stuff for web. And that's how we like it, no config, right? We don't like config. Let's close this one. So we have installed parcel, and let me show you how that works. You do npx parcel index.html. That tells parcel, hey, start a developer server and show me and use index.html as a base point or entry point. Hello world, this is the example, and we make it article in Pico CSS. An article is like a card, so now we have a card and it says hello world. We don't want to have hello world, we want to have Ravencoin asset viewer. Let's create an asset viewer for Ravencoin. Nice. Asset viewer. And then of course we need a index.js file. How do we communicate with Ravencoin if we are lazy and want to be kickstarted? Well, we go to ravenrebels.com, and here we find some tools for developers. We find Ravencoin Reader. We click on Ravencoin Reader. This is what we want to have. We want to read Ravencoin data. So we click install command script there, and we Ctrl+C, we stop parcel, and we paste this in, so we start installing Ravencoin Reader. We can go back and take the example code we have here. So we paste in the example code, which will fetch asset data for friend red and print it out in the console. So if we start parcel again, we expect that when we run this web page again and we look in the developer tool here, console, we would like to see something. We don't see anything. Why not? Because we have not included our script, of course. So we say script type equals module source equals, and we reload the page. Now did it die? No, it does a lot of stuff, as you see. Nice. And you see we reloaded the page and we have metadata about it, so it works. Nice. Let's make an asset viewer. So we want an input field and want a button, so let's create that. Input, and we give it the ID input, and we do a button, ID button. We call it OK. So now we have a input field and a button. Nice. When we should be able to like type in the name of the asset, click OK, and you should want to see like some metadata about the file, the asset, and also the image. How do we do that? First of all, we have to create an image tag. Image, so lazy, and we want to have a pre-id pre-tag, and now parcel died, so we have to restart parcel. So okay, so then we say function get id. We do something like get id, which will be the like return document will get element by id. We don't have the time to write that 11 times. And then we do button equals get id button input equals get ID input, and image get ID image. Now we have the button input field and the image. So now we say button add event listener click. When we click the button, we want to do something, right? So we click the button and we hit tada alert. Here instead what we want is to say const asset name equals input.value, because we assume that what I don't like when Visual Studio Code does this. It tries to add stuff for me. Asset name, so now if we say friend red and click the button, we get friend red. Nice. So we want to say that this function should be async, so we can do asynchronous stuff, which means that we can do await reader get asset name. And also what we want to do is to set the image on the image tag element if that exists. If asset, if we don't get null, then we say IPFS should be asset.ipfs hash. Let's start by saying image set remove attribute source. We also, every time we click the button, we remove the source because it might be the previous asset. And if the asset we have now, no, this should move up. This should move up to the top. The first thing we should do is to clear the image. And the next thing we do is fetch the asset. If we have an asset and if we have IPFS, then we need to have the URL to a IPFS provider. Let's see, Raven Explorer. We have an Explorer that uses IPFS. So let's see what it, I think it's Cloudflare. Let's see. Let's click on a link and we say that, okay, it's Cloudflare. So we take Cloudflare and we say base URL is this. And then URL should be base URL plus asset dot IPFS, and then we do image set attribute source equals URL. So this should work. Then it should actually, if we click the, oh, I have so many windows open. Here we have the server. If we click here and we click, it's working. It's working. Now we are fetching the asset for friend red, and we know that we see that it has an IPFS, so we see it. And we also want to have like the whole text, right? So you do const JSON equals JSON stringify asset null4. Null4 means please indent this. And then we have our pre tag. So we have pre equals get ID pre, and then we say pre dot inner HTML equals JSON. Nice. Now we should be able to do friend red, and we get the image and the asset metadata. We are done. We have something working with, in 8 minutes we got something working with Ravencoin. That's so nice. Now you have to add like error handling, what if the asset doesn't work and so on, but you can fix that. And to learn more stuff about Ravencoin, just head over to ravenrebels.com. You can scroll down and you can find our YouTube channel where we have more stuff about Ravencoin development and so on. Have a nice day. Bye.